You've heard of unconditional love, but have you heard of the secret to unconditional happiness and allowing more into your life? More wealth, more success, and more love. More freedom in your life right now. Welcome to the Happy Bar with Israel Savage.
So a couple nights ago, I had a dream that I think you'll appreciate.
Yes.
I was literally using a GPS,
Huh.
and I remember going off course. And instead of looking at it to see where it was directing me, I was trying to retrace where I got off course at, like the last 5 steps, and then proceed from there and look at the directions, because I was so locked on the initial directions it gave me. That I wasn't realizing, like, the whole idea is that a GPS will adjust. So I thought that was really...
So tell me what you think that means.
I feel like it's a lot of parallels to, I feel like there's a certain route and I have to go that route. And oops, you got off course, bad job. And then I have to get back on and, do things the correct way.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things that I would say to that, and I do appreciate that so much. Dreams are pretty amazing and are just another way that we translate vibration into meaning. And that's what as we talk to people on the phone or video calls, it's translation. Waves fly through the air, and then your eyes translate it into images. Your ears translate it into sound. Your solar plexus translates emotion. I feel something, I send it out to you over a phone line or over a video line, and you receive it and send it back to me. And here we are. I'm not in your house. You're not in my house yet. We are sending and receiving things. That's pretty amazing. And so everything is about translation of energy and vibration when you come down to it, including dreams. Now, how amazing is it, and what proof it is that we are just translating all of this that we are living and calling reality? Isn't it such proof positive that I close my eyes to sleep and I see things and I feel things and I hear things and I translate them? Where does that come from? And it's no more real in that moment or not real than you and I interacting right now. And so what does that mean, dreams? What is happening there? Well, it's a few things. Many times is your greater you communicating with you in a way that you can translate. And I'll say what I think your greater you is probably communicating to you in just a second. And sometimes it's other people's greater yous communicating to us. Now that's pretty mind-blowing to think that we can pick up on that. And I'll share this story with you. Whether they're physically here or not physically here, whether they've physically died or transitioned or not. I had an instance, I'm wasn't really in touch with my grandfather, my father's father, too much. And as far as I knew, he was perfectly healthy. As far as I knew, I had no reports otherwise. And he wasn't someone that I often thought about. Well, I had one of those dreams where you're in your bedroom and my eyes open and my grandfather comes and sits on my bed. And I knew that he had transitioned. I just knew. And so I started to ask him questions about, did you have regrets? Do you have this? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't remember what happened from there, but it ended. I woke up. I looked at the clock. I happened to look at the clock because it was like 2:30 a.m. or something like that. And the dream was it felt so received rather than conjured or invented by me that I said to my mother the next day, I had this weird dream about my grandfather, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I explained it. And she said, well, that's strange because he was rushed to the hospital last night and he was pronounced dead at 2:30.
Oh my God. Wow.
And they revived him and he came back and he went on to live another year or two. So in that moment of no resistance for him, when he was in a transitionary state, And I was also in a dream state. So there was no resistance for me. We met. We transcended time and space together.
Wow.
I had a similar dream the other night that felt received. My daughter was away on a sleepover for the weekend, and she's 12. And so I had this dream, and she was 1.5 with her big curls, and she was running around a chair, and I was running the other direction. And she was just giggling, saying, "Hi, Daddy. Hi, Daddy," every time she would come around. And that also felt like a received moment. And I felt like that was her greater self communicating with mine in this place of no resistance, in our purest, most gleeful connection to each other. And so we always have access. You don't have to sleep to have access to everyone's greater self. You only have to have a desire, a reach, a question, a summoning of some sort, and then all that ever was rushes in to support you with the answer of that. And so specifically with your dream, I love it because it's such a clear representation of your greater self as a GPS giving you guidance. And let's think about a GPS. A GPS truly doesn't care about anything except where you are and where you want to be. There is no judgment. There is no, "I'm sorry, I won't give you directions because you've already messed this up 10 times." It's always recalculating. It's not recalculating again.
Right.
And so we could just surrender to that. And we could just follow the GPS. And even if we get it a little off, relax into the fact that the GPS is going to get us there, no matter what. We can relax into that our greater self is holding a space, a place, this place that sometimes I call a wellspring, where our desires are waiting for us to catch up with them, for your physical self, for the belief, for the lack of resistance to rise and meet it so that it can physically manifest. And so that's where the GPS is. So we could relax. And let me tell you, I used to, driving was so nerve-wracking because I had to have my maps out while I'm driving, and I know where to turn and this and that. And so I found driving such a nerve-wracking experience. But now that I have just a voice that just sort of tells me turn by turn what I need to do and holds for me where I need to end up, what a relief that is in the car. I don't have to have all this pressure and maps unfolded and, did I read that right? And is this highway this? And, I don't have to hold on to that pressure. But often what we want to do, rather than just continue to float downstream, continue to relax into the journey and enjoy the journey and move forward, we want to retrace our steps and start back from the point we got it all wrong.
Right.
To figure out, okay, what did we do? What did I do wrong
What's
here?
the lesson?
Yeah, how did I get off here? Let me just figure that out and focus on that and figure that out. And that's one thing to do, but why not just keep going, and get there? Why not let go of whatever happened before, just like your GPS does? And when I say that our greater self has a way of thinking about things, and our physical self has a way of thinking about things, and when those things are aligned together, then we experience pleasant feelings, and when they are not aligned, we experience unpleasant feelings. The way that our greater self sees things is like a GPS. It only sees you now. It only sees you now, not yesterday, not 10 years ago, not the you of 20 years ago, not the you of 5 minutes ago. It only sees you now. And so when we can align our own thoughts and perspective to our greater self in that way, imagine if we showed up and saw each person we interacted with as they are in this moment and didn't hold them captive to who they were 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago. We freed them from our own expectation and demanding of what they had to be. Imagine what we might discover in that moment. If you liked what you just heard, then take inspired action now. That's right, act while you are feeling good. And build on your momentum. Schedule your free discovery call with me at instudios-nyc.com/happybar.